Hey Master Gardeners, here we are back in my new garden plot. So yesterday we started with how to start a traditional vegetable garden. So we just walked out in the middle of the yard, we picked a plot that was a good full sun, 8 to 10 hours a day. We began to weed whack it and trim that grass down and scalp it off, and then I took and skimmed it off real well. Then we added about 4 inches of compost all the way across the garden. And while we were doing that, we were picking out all kinds of grubs, all kinds of, here's a root system, piece of the wiregrass from yesterday. So today I went back in and cultivated the ground all over again. I wanted my soil 8 inches deep, at least. And so if you follow me here, you'll see, digging down in here, look how easily my shovel goes all the way down in there. Watch that. Look at that. I've cultivated that soil to almost 12 inches deep. I can run my hand under. Nice and deep, and I've got at least 4 inches of organic matter on there, and I got it the way I want it. I rolled it over again today. You know what the truth is? It's just like building a house. If you don't build a good foundation, you're not going to have a quality garden. So do the work now. I'll never dig to 10 and 12 inches again in this vegetable garden. The other thing I wanted to make sure I did is cut some of the wiregrass, which I know I have mixed in my lawn area. So I cut it out almost like a bathtub again today, just to make sure I was severing all those ornery little enemies. The next thing I did is I took a soil test, and right now I'm probably going to blow away, but I took a soil test. Now, you don't have to use a probe like this, because most people don't have a probe like this. You just dig in the soil, and you're going to take a clean bucket and take a sample all the way down and put a shovel full of soil in your bucket. Then I stir it all together really well, and then I dump it out on a tray like I've done here. So I did this morning and it's already dried out a lot. I keep mixing it real fine because when the laboratory tests it, they're only going to use 2 tablespoons to test. That's all they're going to test. So you have to make sure you make a good composite mixture of every bit of the soil in your garden. I'm doing this after I added my organic matter because I didn't want to wait the 2 weeks to start my garden. So I went ahead and started it, added my organic matter, and now I'm running a test. So that's how you do the testing. I put it in a baggie like this. I prefer to take a butter box like this. In the old days, I would stuff it in there with my check and with my order form with the lab. To find a soil laboratory, just go to the HGIC Maryland website and you'll be able to find the different laboratories. And I fold my soil up and I cover it with butcher paper or even just a large piece of white paper and address it to them. Nowadays, most of the labs like you to pre-buy an envelope. That's what this is, an envelope that's already got the soil bag on the end of it. So that's probably what I'll do with this sample mix that's here on the tray. But I'm going to send approximately 1 cup. We have videos on the HGIC how to take a soil test. So you can learn how to do that on another video. So that's what I did this morning. And then I rolled my bed over. And then this afternoon, I laid it out on a piece of paper. I made a plan. First thing to do is make a list of the plants that you like to eat. It's a waste of your time to plant something that you don't like to eat. So I've got Swiss chard in my garden, beets, I got spinach, and I'm planting tomatoes. The green are the things that I'm planting right now during the cool early season. Then I have in the red my warm summer crops. The warm summer crops are really more of my focus crop. So first thing I did on my plan was to lay it out and put my summer crops on. If you remember yesterday, my bed was 10 feet long. It's 4 foot wide. I even did the old square foot gardening style. I laid these baling twine at 12-inch intervals so you can see my little squares. And that's so helpful because you have to figure out how close to put your plants in. I like to use this Home and Garden Information Center form, and it tells me how far apart to plant them. And it tells me not only how far apart, but it tells me the distance between the rows. So I kind of get a look at that and figure out, oh, how close can I stick them? How many per square foot? And I kind of calculate that out. And then when I made my little list of all the vegetables I wanted, I put how many I can fit in a square foot, or in the instance of a tomato, how many square foot does a tomato need? Which is almost 9 of my squares. So when it comes time, my tomatoes are going to take up the majority of my garden. Even squash, summer squash, needs as many as almost 9 mix within my garden. So those are in the red on here. So on my sketch, I have tomatoes here, here, and here. And meanwhile, I'm putting in my bok choy, I'm putting in spinach, and I'm putting in lettuce. So I've done lettuce, and I've got these summer green crops, and then the reds are my summer later season. Okay, so that's the gist of what I've done so far. Do you want me to show you how to plant? Do you think we have time? Let me show you how I planted. We started seeds of spinach earlier in the spring. I forget where my label went. I already took it out. I pop them out of here. Whoop. Usually they come out as one. We put a lot of them in a hole, and I just put them under, sink it down in the ground, scoop my soil in, press it firmly. I also am going to put a little sprinkle of, I'm going to side dress it just a little because my soil conditioner is already in there. So I know I've already got some nutrients, and then I follow up with a drink of water. So there's my spinach. We popped some lettuce in. Let me jump on the other side of the bed. Here's lettuce. What I do is, it's in a peat pot. I sowed them in peat pots. I curl that top piece off because it will wick away moisture. So you got to get the top off. The rest of the pot, you can leave it all on there. I dig my hole, plant him at about the same level he's at. I'm going to do the same thing and just side dress him with a little fertilizer and water him in. Here's my bok choys. Some of them are a little bit wobbly. They're a little juvenile, but I can do 3 or 4 of those per plot. And so that's what I've done in these other ones. Here you can see 1, 2, 3 per square. I'm going to pop 2 into that one. So those are yet to be planted. And you'll also see I got my hoops already in here. It's so windy today, and tonight's going to be cold. So I'm going to cover this with a row cover tonight. I don't intend to keep it on there for days, but because these love the cool weather. But that's my starter. So, whammo! That's the gist of starting a garden in your yard from scratch.